How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? Um, it's July, It's July, It's July, It's July, Hey, hey, hey. It's July, Stop. All right. So we got the O's today. We got the O's today. Um, hope y'all doing good. I hope y'all doing well. I hope y'all doing blessed. I'm getting ready to go. I gotta stop saying but I'm getting ready to go to a Angels game in a second. We're gonna head out in a little bit, but I thought I'd do this before we leave, cause later on I'm probably not gonna be in the space to actually do it. So I might as well do it now, cause um, you know, but you know, let me just get into the O's because I gotta stop myself from doing that. From doing, it's annoying. Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it until you're like midway through, and you realize you have something to say, but you're trying to get it all out. It's in your mind, but you're trying to get it out your mouth. Pause. You're trying to get it out your mouth in an effective manner. So I'm just gonna get into it. Obstreperous. Obstreperous. It means noisy, defiant, unruly. Like kids, especially when they're young. When they're young, between the age of 2 up to, I guess, teenage years. Even then, it's like there's even some adults that are still very obstreperous, noisy, loud, just naturally that, and defiant as well. I don't want to listen to nobody. Opaque. Well, that means not very clear. It's vague, or I guess that's one way of saying it. Impenetrable by light. So it's not clear. It's turbid, not reflecting light. Odious. Evoking intense aversion or dislike, repugnant. So a form of hatred. Showing hate towards somebody, or showing disdain towards somebody. Ombudsman. A person who investigates citizens' complaints. A mediator. Someone who is impartial to the situation. They're there to oh my gosh. They're there to hear both sides of the story and not have an opinion based in bias. They're here to have that unbiased opinion and hear both sides. Obsequious. Exhibiting a fawning attraction, or exhibiting a fawning attentiveness. So Roger, listen to this. Roger thought fawning over the boss would help him get promoted, but his obsequious behavior annoyed his coworkers. So, kowtowing. So he was kissing ass. Basically, he was sucking up. He was sucking up, or he was too focused, too attentive to his boss. Obdurate. Yeah, obdurate. Unyielding hard-hearted, intractable. So he was uncompromising. He was stubborn. He was steadfast. He said, I'm not going. I'm not going. The obdurate ruler would not change his policies, even to ease the suffering of his people. He wouldn't change the rules for them. He said, I'm not changing the rules for nobody. I don't care. I don't care what's going on with you. I'm not changing the rules for you. I'm not changing the rules for you, and you in the corner too. I'm not changing it. So what you gonna do? Bars, don't hate the play, hate the game. Nah. Obstinate. Not abstinent. Obstinate with an O. Obviously. This is an O day, so. Stubborn, hard-headed, uncompromising. Another word that says, I'm not going. There is a lot of words in here that are stubborn, that are hard-headed. And this is literally what it means. Stubborn, hard-headed. You don't listen. Obstinate. So people who practice abstinence are obstinate to people who want to break their rule. Uncompromising, stubborn, you're hard-headed. But you know what they say about a hard head? A hard head makes for a soft behind. You know what I'm saying? Obfuscate or obfuscate. To deliberately obscure, to make confusing, to confound. So to fluster people, to bewilder people, to make people confused. To confuse people, make people not understand what's going on. So the politician obfuscated the truth about his corruption by accusing his opponent. Oh, you gotta know him. Accusing his opponent of having an affair. Well, thank you. Obtuse. And it has nothing to do with the triangle. It has nothing to do with the angle, the triangle, any of that. It's not the... No. It's not this. It's not this that we're talking about. But it can be used as that. Lacking sharpness of intellect. Thick-headed, simple-minded, dim-witted, or dull-witted. Not clear or precise in thought or expression. So you're foolish. You're dumb. You're one card short of a full deck. You're not there all the way. You know, you're kind of, there's a step missing. Something off. My father's obtuse when it comes to computers. He doesn't even know how to turn one on. They could be ignorant. They don't know. They just don't know. They don't know. Ostentatious. Oops. Ostentatious. Characterized by or given to pretentiousness. Showy. You like to be braggadocious. You like to show off in front of people. So the economic downturn is causing some wealthy people to curtail their ostentatious lifestyles. So they're basically kind of not being so much, they're basically limiting the amount of showiness that they do, the amount of ostentatiousness that they do, the braggy, they're limiting that. Is what they're doing. So onerous, not onerous, but onerous. Troubling, burdensome, arduous, grueling, laborious. So shoveling out the stables is a more onerous task than feeding the chickens. So it's a hard task. It's physically daunting and physically taxing. It's just exhausting all around. Obviate. So to obviate something means to anticipate and make unnecessary. So to intervene, to preclude, avert. So streaming movies online obviates the need to go to the video store. So it's like, why would you need to go to a video store if you can just stream movies online? It makes it unnecessary. You know, it plans out for certain events and makes it not a need. So Uber obviates the idea of people actually getting their license and driving. It's like, why would I need to drive when I could just have somebody pick me up and get there and not have to worry about gas? Even though you shouldn't do that, because it makes more sense to do that. It gives you more independence. It gives you more, like, you don't have to wait on anybody. You can do your own thing. You can go wherever you want to go, which is good, you know. Ossified. Ossified. Tending to become more rigid, conventional, turn into bone, harden. At what point is it no longer possible to change the ossified opinions of someone from an older generation? So their opinions are hardened. They've had it for a long time, and it's deep in their psyche. It's deep in their mind, their DNA, their consciousness, their way of thinking. It's an old way of thinking, and it gets it's kind of hard to change it. You know, the older you get, it's kind of hard to change your opinion of things, of the way that things are. It's not impossible, but it's kind of hard the way things to accept it any more than the way that things are. You know, especially if you're in an older stage. Occlude. To obstruct or block, clog, congest. The last mile of the trail was occluded by overgrown bush and falling leaves. So the brush and falling leaves, it blocked the mile off. So they probably had to turn back around, or they had to go around it. But it was very difficult for them to go straight through. They had to find another way because it was occluded. The path was occluded. So they had to take a detour. They had to go the long way around. They had to take another route. Opprobrium. Disgrace, contempt, scorn. They're mad. So allegations of steroid use brought such opprobrium that the athlete lost several sponsorships. So felt disgraced. He was disgraced by, oh my goodness. He was disgraced by his steroid use by the public. They looked down on him. They looked at him with contempt, with what is the word? Disdain. Yeah. And the last word is, I keep going in these deep thoughts because I'm like, thinking of some stuff, but oscillation. So oscillation is the act or state of swinging back and forth with a steady, uninterrupted rhythm. So think of like a pendulum. Think of like the sea dragon at at Santa Monica Pier. It's a or think of like a fan, or it's just it keeps the motion going, it's a steady motion. So just a pendulum going like this, and it just consistent. It's a constant back and forth, steady. It doesn't change, it's uninterrupted. It just keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It just keeps going back and forth. So it's a steady back and forth pace. Okay. So that is it for today. That's it for the O's. Oh, wow. That's it for the O's. So I'm going to have the P's tomorrow. And this one should be out today for sure. Yesterday's ended up being out today. It didn't even get through until the morning. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know why it doesn't. When I do these long videos, that's what happens sometimes. It takes hours upon hours for it to actually upload. So hopefully, because I did this one this early, hopefully it doesn't have that problem. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I think I'm out of here. I'm getting ready to enjoy the game in a little bit. This is my first time actually going to an Angels game, so I'm gonna see how it is. I know people that have went there. My friends have went there. My siblings have went there. I've never been to one, so this will be my first time going. Hopefully it's fun to actually be out in the crowd. So I'm gonna have a good time tonight. You guys have a good rest of your day.